Hello student, let us start with the last chapter of this semester, water. This is the chapter from where most of the syllabus is now reduced syllabus. So a very small chapter is left now. So this is water. Chemical formula is H2O. Molecular mass 18 atomic mass unit. Bonding, this is oxygen with 6 electron in the outermost shell and hydrogen with 1 electron. So oxygen need 2 electron to become stable, whereas hydrogen need 1 electron to become stable. So both of them, they share the electrons and form water as molecule, covalent bonding. The first topic of the chapter that is in the syllabus, water as a universal solvent. Now why water as a universal solvent? There are some points. So first of all, we have polar in nature. Now students, in your syllabus you have just a chemical bonding. Now further in class 10 you are going to study. We have two types of chemical bonding. One is non-polar covalent bonding and the other is polar covalent bonding. Today I am going to make you understand about the polar covalent bonding, as water is polar in nature. And what do we understand by polarity of a compound? Now look, when oxygen share its 1 electron with hydrogen. Now check this, this oxygen is with 8 protons as the atomic number is 8. So 8 proton means 8 unit positive forces in the nucleus, whereas hydrogen has 1 proton, so 1 unit positive forces of attraction one side and 1 unit positive of forces of attraction other side. Now what happened? It is clear that oxygen has much more forces of attraction as compared to both these hydrogen. So this oxygen attract the shared pair towards its side. So oxygen attract both these shared pairs towards its side. So the shared pair is not exactly in between the two atoms, but it is slightly towards oxygen side. So as the effect of 2 more electron is with oxygen, so here the oxygen develop a negative atmosphere around it, or you can say negative pole, whereas hydrogen, its own electron even is towards oxygen. So both the hydrogens develop positive atmosphere around them. We can say positive pole. So water is known as dipolar in nature, where oxygen has some negative atmosphere and hydrogen has some positive atmosphere. Now what is the advantage of being polar in nature? These polar compounds, they have high dielectric constant. Now what is high dielectric constant? This is a property with which a polar compound reduces the forces of attraction between the atoms of other molecule. For example, if we put sodium chloride in water. Now sodium chloride is made up of 2 ions. Sodium carry positive charge and chlorine carry negative charge. When water molecules around sodium chloride are there, then both the hydrogens carry positive charge. They attract chlorine towards it, whereas oxygen attract sodium towards it. In this way, they reduces the forces of attraction between sodium and chlorine atoms, and they are going to be dissociated. they are going to be break down, or they start moving away from one another. So that means they are now successful to break sodium chloride. So sodium chloride in this way is soluble in water. So why water is a universal solvent? I think I am understood. First of all, it is polar in nature. It forms hydrogen bonds with the molecules of other compounds. And then high dielectric constant, it reduces the forces of attraction between the particles of the other compounds or other molecules. And the last point, it can enter in a chemical reaction with other compounds very easily. That is why water is a universal solvent. Next topic from this chapter is solutions. Student, just keep that in mind. Whatever I am doing here in the video, only this part of the chapter is in syllabus. Mark these topics in your book. The rest of the part is not going to come. So what is the solution? Solution is solute plus solvent. We are getting a product solution. For example, if we put salt in water, we are getting salt solution. So solution is made up of two parts. One is solute and other is solvent. And we have already done. Water is a universal solvent. That means water can dissolve almost every compound. So solutions. First of all, let me discuss what is a concentrated solution. In a concentrated solution, there is more amount of solute but less amount of solvent. So we call that solution concentrated solution. Dilute solution. Less solute, more solvent. We call it dilute solution. Saturated solution. After dissolving solute into solvent, we are getting solution. When we cannot add more solute in that solvent, that solution is said to be saturated solution. When you cannot add more solute, so that will be saturated solution. Unsaturated solution, when you can add more solute to that solvent, we call it is still unsaturated. And unsaturated solution can become saturated by adding more solute. So this is all from today's topic. Good day.